good afternoon and welcome again to the 1983 Commonwealth Basketball Championships, where we're at the stage of the second semi-final between our own national team and the only unbeaten side of the tournament so far, England. And the English coach is Bill Bessick from Manchester. This side of yours is unbeaten thus far. Do you think that they can maintain it tonight?
Well, it won't be for want of trying. It's a good record to have, and it's a tough one to maintain, New Zealand and New Zealand, but it's going to be a great game.
You went very close with Canada the other night, and as it turned out, the crowd were on your side. Obviously, there's going to be a difference in that here.
Well, we expect the crowd to support New Zealand 100%, but I think there's a lot of people with maybe mixed feelings, you know. There's a lot of English affiliations in this area.
This is a side with a lot of talent, but one that you haven't spent a great deal of time with. How difficult is it to get cohesion between a lot of individuals who are very talented on their own?
Well, that's my most difficult task, because with a national team, you have so little time to prepare them. Unlike a club situation, when you have them week in, week out, before this tournament, I had 5 days with the boys in Los Angeles to get them ready and playing together. But when it does happen, and it did happen against Canada, they become quite an effective force.
This team came here very much as underdogs. England, they weren't rated very highly before the tournament. Thus far, everybody has been extremely impressed with the team and impressed with you. How do you see your future as English coach if you lose tonight?
Well, first of all, we prefer to be underdogs. It's a nice, sneaky position. I think it's the start of what I'm hoping to achieve with the national team, and tonight's going to give me a lot more evidence on what kind of progress we're making, because this is a real pressure situation for what is basically quite a young team.
Is it really a team, though, that would like to play as individuals?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a tendency for talented players to believe that they can do it on their own. But I think that I've managed to knock that out of them now. And against Canada, we had 7 players with over 10 points. That's awful difficult to defend against.
Thank you. A very confident Bill Bessick, the English coach. But being parochial, of course, we're hoping for a New Zealand victory tonight to end England's unbeaten run and give them a place in the final. And now over to the court commentator for the starting lineup for both sides. Here's Ron Mulligan.
I'll introduce the starting 5 for England first. Number 5, Carl Tatum. Number 8, Paul Stimson. Number 10, Dan Lloyd. Number 12, Drew Sewell. And number 14, Pete Mullings. The starting 5 for New Zealand. Number 4, Tony Smith. Number 6, Paul Ogilvie. Number 10, John Van Uden. Number 14, John Hill. And number 15, Stan Hill. Chairman of the score bench is Nick Warren, and the 2 referees for tonight's game, which is the second semi-final in the countrywide Commonwealth Basketball Championships, are from Australia, Ray Hunt, and from the United States of America, Ron Amori.
And your commentators for tonight's game, let's welcome back the eloquent duo, Bob Montai and Marshall Seifert.
Hey, thank you very much, Tony. We're set for the start of the second semifinal. An interesting game tonight. It's going to be very difficult to pick a winner. New Zealand versus England. It's do or die for both teams. The right of playing Canada goes to the winner. Marshall, any pre-game notions, ideas, comments?
Well, I'd say it's going to be a rough game, and a very fast game, and a very good game, and a very close game.
New Zealand control attack. Stan Hill must have another big game, and I think the key factor tonight, one of the keys for New Zealand, is going to be John Van Uden. He's got to produce again as he did the other night. Tony Smith, baseline, has it knocked away by Tatum.
He got a foul. That's what you let those fouls underneath. It's a very smart squad which shoots from underneath for the first 8 minutes of the game if possible, isn't it?
Absolutely. They must draw fouls on England's big men. Tony Smith on the line. 3-for-2 situation.
Now, what is interesting here, Bob, is that although New Zealand played England twice in Japan, Smith hadn't played in either of those games because he's a Mormon, and both games were held on Sunday. So England have not played against Tony Smith.
Well, we hope they're in for a big surprise. Tony Smith pushes New Zealand into a 2-0 lead.
It's a zone. It's a zone. Yeah, it's a zone. Someone's got to be free, but England aren't solving it. Nice pass. It should be 2. They don't want to shoot. Nice feed underneath.
Lloyd.
Hill with the rebound.
Big Stan Hill rakes the boards. New Zealand up quickly. Chance to go up 4. Inside to John Hill. Saved.
He'll pop it.
Paul Ogilvie missed.
Oh, Stanley! Big block. John Hill. Well. Good shot from Ogilvie. Missed. Great rebounding from Stan. John Hill. 4-0.
Watch the replay. Ogilvie tosses the first shot. Watch Stan Hill come from nowhere and rake the boards. But he couldn't get a shot off. And watch John now. He missed 3 of those last night. This one drops. A good omen.
It's a good start. Now, we have just had up the other end a foul on Smith. That's, of course, is Smith's first foul. Out of bounds to England. And let's see now. We are still in the zone. Now, the way you beat a zone is to pass quick and take good percentage shots like that. 4-2.
Captain Paul Stipson, 6'4" forward. 4-2 the score. New Zealand by 2.
Nice feed. Good feed to Stan. Off to John. And he was fouled.
Carl Tatum, number 5, sorry. He picks up his first foul.
I don't know what Carl's upset about from here. It looked like an attempted amputation.
Whatever it was, John Hill on the line.
Wish.
Makes his first. The shooting situation. He'll get a bonus if he misses the next.
John Hill is one of those rare athletes who plays better the more competitive the game, the more important the game. Now, watch this foul now. Hill goes around, and in comes the arm. Oh, it wasn't as bad as it looked. He was right.
Tatum takes it down the lane. Passes a bit quick, too hard to handle. Drew Sewell couldn't handle it. England retained possession. The other night, England had 7 players. This was against Canada. 7 players in double figures, scoring-wise, and that is most unusual. New Zealand had 4 by comparison against Australia.
Oh, John Hill rolls. Actually, that's the second bad pass from John Van Uden. Oh, that's double dribble at the side. New Zealand now need to just calm down their offense and pass much slicker and quicker.
6-2, New Zealand with a 4-point lead. 18 minutes left in the first half.
We just seem a bit nervous at the moment.
England playing a man-to-man defense. Tony Smith in the free.
Oh, wait. Now, he was well guarded then. He saw that he had no shot, but he threw it up anyway, and it went in the middle of the hole.
Tony Smith. 4 points. New Zealand, 8-2. England pressing here in the early moments.
Good feeding. That's what you do against the zone. They should, with passing like that, be able to get good percentage shots. The idea of New Zealand is to give them only 1. Nice shot.
Tatum.
That's what you do against the zone. Fast break, New Zealand. Van Uden's down. Passes back to Smith. He should have shot.
Ogilvie, no good, and Mullings goes high.
If Ogilvie had scored 1, he'd score 4.
Interesting matchup tonight. The average height of both starting lineups, 6'5" tall.
Still a zone, a 2-3 at the moment. England doing the right thing, passing it around. A little bit too much with the bounce of the ball. Hey, that's good percentage shooting. That ties up the game. Pull the boards.
Captain Paul Stimson hits his 4th.
England have very good perimeter shooters. Nice shot. Who was that? Ogilvie or Van Uden?
John Van Uden.
He was off balance, but he put it in the middle of the hole. Now, when we say perimeter shooters, what we mean is from around the outside. England have no great scoring star like Australia or like Canada, but they've got a lot of good players. That was a foul on Paul Ogilvie.
Paul Ogilvie, a little overly aggressive there. Body contact against Pete Mullings. Not a shooting foul. We've got a substitution coming in for New Zealand. Here's the mystery man tonight, Warwick Mail. Notice the tape on his wrist, heavily bandaged. Marshall, have you got any information about Mail's wrist?
He says it's all right.
Replaces Paul Ogilvie. New Zealand sitting in their zone.
Yeah. Now, that was Warwick being lazy on that zone. You've got to move much faster than that from the outside. You've got to contest the shots. It was a lazy effort from Warwick Mail off the bench.
Stimson, the captain, with 3 good tosses so far. He's the hot man at the moment. Here's full court pressure.
Now, they're looking for a press, so everyone has to clear out and let Smith go one-on-one. Now, someone should be free. They should be. It was John Van Uden on the other side then. Listen to that crowd. They know that that's the man that can crack any game played in this country. Big Stan.
Man Mountain tosses his first 2.
Here's Stan. Now, watch this sweet shot. Up, off his feet, and right in the middle of the hole. England do the same down the other end. They're shooting very well from the corner.
Dan Lloyd collects his first 2. Ball knocked out of bounds. New Zealand will control it. Full court pressure coming from England. Surprising this early in the game, Marshall.
Well, I've been very impressed with their coach. I think he's a man. He's going all over the world to learn his trade. And they wouldn't surprise me with anything, England. They're very well coached. Now, someone's free on their zone there. Now, let's see if they can pass the ball around as well. That's you, Warwick. You got to put it in the hole. Van Uden, I think he got a foul. Foul on John Van Uden coming over the top. Now, that's the idea of beating a zone, is to get someone free like Warwick, and it's up to him to put it in the hole.
Warwick Mail looks to be a little lacking in confidence on his shooting. He only put up 2 against Australia. He missed his first tonight. He's got to sharpen up. 12-10. New Zealand by 2. Remember, England beat Canada. Canada beat Australia.
That's good passing. That's very good play. I would alter that zone at the moment. Here's a fast break. Warwick will make this. Here, goaltending on big Dan Lloyd. Dan Lloyd went over the top of the rim to flick the ball out. The basket, of course, counts. That was a magnificent fast break. Who was that pass from?
We'll see it here.
Tony Smith. Tony Smith, the Warwick Mail, controlled the ball. I would have liked another bounce, but anyway, it's 2 points for New Zealand.
Got a timeout called by England. We'll see if we can hear what's going on down at the bench. See New Zealand there. Actually, they've had a good start tonight, Marshall. They're ahead by 2, 14-12.
Well, I'd say the start has been good, but I'd say England are playing the neat, tidy basketball game at the moment. We can score scrambling shots like Warwick Mail there. You can see Dan Lloyd reach up over that rim and flick the ball away.
It's actually the center, Pete Mullings, 6'9" leaper. Goes high, knocks it out of the bucket.
Really? All right. Yeah, I've got my, right. Anyway, but I would say that even though New Zealand is ahead, that at the moment, England look very ominous with the way they're passing the ball against that zone, Bob.
You have to respect them. They're a very physical team. They look a bit heavier than New Zealand. I was going to say they're perhaps a little bit overweight. A couple of players look like they're carrying a six-pack around the waist.
Oh, I don't know about that. They're very stocky team, very, very solid, especially number 12. He looks like he wouldn't be out of place playing for Manawatu, that's all.
Back to the action. Tatum marked closely by Smith. New Zealand now in a man-to-man defense. Out front, Dan Lloyd underneath. Stimson was fouled. Warwick Mail picks up his first. He's favoring that left wrist. He may think it's right.
I just heard a snapping noise then. I think he just could have jammed a finger. I think he's okay, but it certainly went off Warwick's finger. Now we've seen a man-to-man. That's good coaching, because they were solving the zone, and when they solve the zone, you go into a man-to-man. Put your hand up, contest it. That's good. That's good play. Oh, silly foul, Warwick.
Warwick Mail, a bit too quick. He's becoming the smiling butcher of this team, picking up fouls very quickly. 14-12, New Zealand still by 2.
New Zealand are going with Warwick Mail because overseas he was absolutely outstanding. But I personally don't think he's recovered from jamming his wrist against Australia last Wednesday.
We hope he can play himself into the game. It's a do-or-die night. New Zealand's going to go into the finals of this tournament. They must beat favored England.
Hand up, hand up. This is good. This is good. Good defense. He'll put it in. All right, outlet it. Let's see a fast break. All right, Smith wants to settle it down, but that's much better D. Good coaching.
Good, tough man-to-man defense. England now in his own underneath Van Uden.
You got to move the ball, John. Move it around. No good bouncing it. That's the way to pass. Put it in, Warwick. No. Warwick is tentative. He had a shot then.
It's an interesting zone. It's a 3-2 zone. It's giving New Zealand lots of problems. Van Uden had to put up a
good rebounding. Here comes 2 balls. Stan, what was that all about? Someone flicked it out of his hand, I think, but New Zealand were controlling the boards.
Tatum underneath. Drew Sewell puts it up and in. Easy, too.
Nice. He used his body well, Len. Look at the size of him. Then he's down the other end to get the steal. Here's Warwick.
Misses again. John Hill, however, clears the boards. There's Tony Smith on the baseline. He puts it up.
Did he go high? Great shot from Tony Smith. He was well defended then, but he just kept going up in the air, didn't he, Bob?
Good play. Tony Smith now with 6 points. New Zealand still with a 2-point lead, 16-14.
A very tight game.
Again, some very interesting matchups. Very physical defense. Mullings, high, nets it. Pete Mullings. His first 2 points. Scores tied.
Now they're attempting to work a trap play there. However, all the other New Zealanders are going down under the basket. So they've got nice shots from Van Uden. See, he's really been the backbone of this squad over the last week. Consistent play from John Van Uden. Nice shot.
Shooting. 18-16. England very patiently working for a good shot. Drew Sewell takes it down the lane. He's fouled.
That's Son Smith, I think. That's number 2.
John Hill.
That's bad. That's Smith's second foul. There's only 9 minutes gone. I would put on Jack Myrie at the moment, but we're seeing that John Hill is coming off. Smith is expecting to be subbed when he's over speaking to the coach. There's Coach Smith. I'm sure what he's saying is, look, son, I don't want any more fouls. Just ease up on the defense a bit. I can't afford to bring you out. I guess that's what he's saying, Bob.
Absolutely right. Tony Smith has got to last the game.
Well, I would say no. I would stick in Jack Myrie, give Smith a rest, and see if New Zealand could still fire without him. And if they could, I'd leave them off and attempt to win the game in the second half.
Perhaps that's a strategy to follow. Marshall had an extremely good game the other night, calling and predicting. Perhaps it'll come true again tonight. Smith beats the press. England going to a press early on here. Scores level, 18 each. Smith at the top, Mail down the side. Loopy pass almost
out of bounds. Bad pass. We're not passing well at the moment. They're not crisp. There's Van Uden is free. He's got to put it in.
Gets his own rebound, takes it again.
Way off
through
balance.
a brick, stands with it.
That's what we need. That's what we call scoring the garbage. Now, that was good. 2 poor shots from John Van Uden. Nice rebound from Hill. 2018.
New man in for England, number 4, Joel Moore.
Bad pass. That's good. That's what pressure does. That's much better D now by New Zealand. England had really solved their zone.
Joel Moore and David Lloyd. David and Dan Lloyd are brothers. The zone continues to give New Zealand problems. Underneath, Hill, that's where they've got to take it.
Oh, he was hit.
He was chopped. No call. Here comes Joel Moore very quickly.
He looks like he walks more. I bet he gets a whistle.
There's a walk.
They walked blatantly the second time. Oh, hey, there's a lot of fouls not being called, but I'm glad it's at both ends.
Stan Hill doing a mountain of a job in there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have a look and see if there's a P in those whistles out there at the moment. There's about 3 or 4 blatant fouls in the last minute. What'd they call?
Got a pushing foul.
What?
Pushing foul.
No, Mail. What? Who was the pushing foul on?
Warwick Mail, number 5, picks up a foul.
No, because they just held up one foul. So that would probably be on who? Nick Costley, maybe.
Nick Costley, that's right. Number 8 picks up his first foul. Referees for tonight's match, Ray Hunt from Australia and Ron Amori, the smiling gentleman from the United States.
You believe this? England, after 10 minutes, only have 2 fouls recorded against them. Remember how physical they were against Canada? So it's a different style of play from England at the moment. Only 2 fouls. That's great. That's a charge. Oh, well. Anyway, keep your hand up.
Moore, double punch.
Exciting.
Beautiful shooting. Joe Moore. Scores level. 20 each.
Moore looks a little like Campese here. The legs are going everywhere. The head's up and down. Here's a fast break. Feeds off to Moore. He walked. We knew we'd call him to walk sooner or later. We'd pick it by.
That's the first time. He's taken steps about 5 times, and finally the referee saw it.
I mean, it's legal in rugby. No, pass it quicker, Smith. He's floating these passes. He's floating.
Van Uden, soft
That's
touch.
sweet. That's sweet.
Coach Peter Schmidt now has 2 of the better shooters on the baseline. He's got Van Uden on one side and Paul Ogilvie on the other. England very patiently working it around. There's Joe Moore again. Steps once again.
He's going to get called every time. He'll be upset. His coach is upset.
Time left. 9 minutes left in the first half. The score, New Zealand 22, England 20.
Now, wait a minute. They've just called a foul, a pushing foul on Joel Moore then. It wasn't steps, it was a foul. That makes 3 fouls on England. Nice feed. Oh, Stanley. Great. Costley. No. Hill. No. Oh, that was a sad bit of play. Lovely feed from Ogilvie into Hill, and he blew it.
It's painful to watch, Marshall. We saw a few of those that didn't go down last night, 2 days ago, and we're seeing it again.
Foul from Stan. How often does that happen? You get frustrated down one end, you come up and do something silly up the other. How many fouls is that on Stan?
We got 2 fouls on Stan, and that was totally needless. There he was.
No, it's only 1, I think.
1 on Stan. 25.
Oh, what a pass! What a pass from Moore. Now, that's the highlight of this game. Moore threw a pass then, the likes of which you seldom see. He completely threaded the needle. Let's see if we watch. Oh, no. I wonder if we could play that replay back a little more, fellas. A little bit of tech talk here, but Moore's pass was just so outstanding, and it's a timeout. Let's see if we can spin that back, because Joel Moore was standing there looking very relaxed. Suddenly, he just flicked, and he threaded it down under the basket. Outstanding play.
The England guards very, very quick, showing a bit of class here. New Zealand are in a bit of trouble. They're not settling into a pattern. They're trying to do something offensively, but all they can do is take perimeter shots. Fortunately, a few guys are beginning to hit a few. Van Uden has 6. Tony Smith has 6. Stan Hill doing a mountain of job under the boards. He's got 4 rebounds already. Time to go in the first half. We've got just over 8 minutes, and the scores are deadlocked.
Well, extremely well. They obviously had expected New Zealand's zone, and they solved that very well. They've stayed close without committing fouls. As I say, there's only 3 fouls in England after 12 minutes of play. I'd say their coach would be very, very pleased at the moment. I'd say that New Zealand have had to work much harder to score their points, Bob. It looks ominous. It looks as if England are slowly controlling the game.
You mentioned an interesting point. The foul count is 9-3 against New Zealand. That's going to tell in the long run. 13, David Lloyd just made a free throw, shoves England into the lead. 23-22. New Zealand have got to start scoring a little more regularly. There's Tony Smith with a long heave. No good.
Good play. Oh, come on. They've got to make these layups from underneath now. We're getting such good position on the board there. Well, we had got a foul out of that. It seems to be contested a little bit by the player. I don't think he got a technical foul, but he certainly argued the point.
Ron Amore referee runs out from the middle of that mob to make the call.
Now, there's a lot of pressure here on Nick Crossley, the Nelson player. He's just missed a layup. The score is tied. And we'll just see if the young New Zealander can score his first 2 foul shots.
Bit tight. It's a 3-to-make-2 situation, however.
That's what I was worried about.
Connects with his second. Costly with his first point. The score is level, 23-all. Costly, one of New Zealand's great hopes.
Sweet. That's good play, Nick Costly.
New Zealand by 1. Tony Smith against Joel Moore. There's the captain, Stimson with the ball.
Oh, that's good shooting. See, that's good. I'm worried.
Pistol Pete Jeremich, number 11 in the game for England. There's Ogilvie on the baseline. Passes up there. He takes his shot.
We're controlling the boards, but once we get the rebound, we should convert it into 2 points under there, and we're not doing that. And our passes are very weak. They're not crisp. As a player standing there waiting for the ball, Bob, nice shot standing. As a player standing there waiting for the ball against the zone, you really don't want a slow pass, do you?
No, it's got to be very, very quick. You've got to run the defense back and forth until an opening occurs. Pistol Pete Jeremich with the ball, a bit of fancy stuff. Stands all over him.
Here's Moore again.
Stimson.
Whoa, he threw a
Threw
brick.
an air ball.
You got me saying that throwing a brick now, Bob. It's a good one.
Tells it like it is, Marshall. Tony Smith feeds Ogilvie on the baseline.
Here's a nice pass, and it's 2-point. Great pass from Tony Smith. Nick Costly got himself loose somehow. Now, that's good play. Listen to the crowd. Watch Costly here. Now, the ball goes out to Smith. Costly rolls to the basket. Actually, it was bad D on England. Now, we've just had another foul on New Zealand. No, wait a minute. It's on England, and it's being argued. I think it's on their big man, Paul Mullins. He's unhappy.
Most unhappy.
Now, Smith has just been sat down on the bench. Dutchy Rademacher's is in, and you can tell from the Canterbury crowd, there he is. He was New Zealand captain last year, New Zealand junior captain a few years ago. Outstanding player, and this is his home court.
The crowd love to see it.
Here's Dutch. Can he do it? Oh, what effort! Dutchy Rademacher is the winner. Hasn't played hardly all week. Comes off the bench and puts the first one in. Sweet.
Marshall Seifert taught him that toss. 30-25. New Zealand looking good here. A 5-point lead.
That's good defense. That was a throw. That had nothing to do with the game of basketball, but it went in.
Carl Tatum with a sweet lefty.
Nah, a lucky lefty. Oh, Dutch, they're sagging off him. Said, do it again, son. He's got to shoot it if they sag off.
Sting him, Dutchy.
Dutch, they think you're off the bench, boy. One of our best natural shooters, as they say, since John McDonald. It's a shame he didn't make that one.
No harm. Rebound picked up by Stan Hill. Misses a second shot. Here comes Tatum.
He wants to go all the way. Oh, Dutchy backed in. Gave him a bit of the groin, but it was a good shot. It's 1 point. 1 point the difference.
Tatum knew what he's going to do with that one as he crossed the midcourt line. Had a gleam in his eye. Tatum with a steal. Ogilvie picks it up, however, feeds Stan.
No, it's not good passing at the moment.
Slightly hesitant, Marshall. They're just not whipping the ball around like they have to against the zone. There you see Carl Tatum, number 5.
What's happening here is that all the pressure seems to be on New Zealand here. England are just playing a relaxed, good game of basketball, and we're having to work like heck.
Paul Ogilvie, 6'1" tall. Went high to get that rebound. Good effort.
They're sagging off Dutch. He's got no choice but to shoot.
Stan puts it up, no good. David Lloyd down the lane to pick up that rebound. There's Pistol Pete Jeremich.
New Zealand should be expecting the outside shot and stacking the boards if England's going to sag off like that. look for the second shot. Let Paul and Dutch shoot.
Inside Tatum. Easy two.
Oh, he's looking good. That's what I mean. The English shots are being given easy. Now, who is this on? Is this a timeout on New Zealand?
Timeout New Zealand. Marshall, I've seen a 6-point lead evaporate. 5-point lead evaporate. They're down by 1 now, 31-30.
Well, as I say, if England are sagging off, then you've got to shoot from the outside. Let's see if we can hear either of these squads at the moment. No. Okay, well, I'm sure that Schmidt down there is saying, look, our game is to get a second and a third shot under the basket. So if you're free, fellas, from the outside, pop it up. Both Ogilvy and Dutch are very fine outside shooters. That's what I'd be saying, Bob. How about you?
Yes, the other thing, Marshall, I think New Zealand would do well to try a zone at the other end of the floor. Their man-to-man is getting hurt inside.
Yes, it is at the moment. It's a good time to switch back.
With 4.5 minutes left to go in the first half, England holds into a 1-point lead, 31-30.
And there's a big hum here in the crowd, isn't there?
People talking. Everybody wants to see New Zealand play well and come out on top. England, the only undefeated team left in the tournament. They want a ticket to the finals. We've got a new player on for New Zealand, number 12, Neil Stevens, 6'8". Young hope.
Stevens and Hill are back on. It's very much a new team out there at the moment.
Here's a good move by the English coach. Full court pressure. 4 minutes left in the game.
Clear out and let Dutchie go. That's what you got to do. Give it to Ogilvy for 2. No, he doesn't want to shoot. Feeds it into Stan. He won't give it to anybody.
Stan goes baseline, draws a foul.
Good play, Stanley.
Jeremich, number 11.
And that's the guy who shoots so well. Against Canada, he just sprayed him in from the outside.
Jeremich following the referee around. He's upset by that call. He'd rather have a Royal Commission on him, investigate him.
Smith back on again. Smith with only the 2 fouls, but I don't know if I would have risked Smith with 4 to go here at the moment. You don't want a 3rd foul on him.
Well, he knows that as well as the coach does. He's just going to have to stay out of trouble. Stan misses his second.
Round and round she goes. Stanley will make this one, though.
Scores tied. Not now. New Zealand back in the lead. A seesaw game.
A bit of half-court pressure here. That's a good idea. That's a guy who walks. I put all sorts of pressure on him.
Moore likes to warm up before he leaves.
Get on him. Get him bouncing. Get him bouncing. That's it. That's it.
Spin dribble. Lovely.
That's good rebound from John Hill. We're very entertained by Moore here, but I'm sure his coach isn't entertained. Those are party tricks.
Ballet basketball from Joel Moore. Good.
Nice speed. Oh, hard luck. That was hard luck. A great pass from Smith.
John Hill couldn't control it. It goes out of bounds. We got 2 substitutions coming on for England. The captain, Paul Stimson.
I thought Moore would be heading for the pine, as you say. He was just a little too fancy out there.
And number 10, Dan Lloyd, checks back into the game. Lloyd will cool, Moore will cool his heels a bit on the bench. Getting just a bit too fancy, as Marshall says. Pistol Pete Jeremich with a ball. Looking inside.
Oh, no, that's a bad call from Ron Amori underneath. I'm sorry, that was not his call. You did not make a call like that from under the basket. That was a shame, that one. Now, that's
Tony
very
Smith.
sad. I was just saying, 3 fouls on Tony Smith. Now what have you done? Okay, now Smith really was the main New Zealand hope against this team, and now he's got to play on one leg. Now, watch this call on Smith. I don't think it was a foul, and it was called from underneath the basket instead of the referee who was standing right in front of it, who clearly saw it was not a foul.
Marshall, while you're having such a good predicting streak here, I wish you'd stop it. That put 3 fouls on Tony Smith. He's off.
He's got to be off. And Jack Myrie should be off.
England only made 1 of those free throws to score level.
Stevens has got a pass. Stevens got him he hit the player right in the face then. It was an accident. We had an English player hurt. He's back in the game now. Gee, it's getting rough.
John Hill Giving the ball under the basket. He threw outside. Neil Stevens, long way away.
That's too far for Stevens. His job is under the basket. It's not from 30 feet, 20 feet.
This zone is giving New Zealand big problems.
They should pick for Dutchie or for Smith at the moment, or Stan. He can shoot from the outside. Nice pass. Great basketball from Stan Hill to John Hill.
And the smaller of the two mountains puts it in. He's got 6 points.
Hey, I don't believe that that Tony Smith is still on the court out there.
Oh, great tap-in. Number 10, Dan Lloyd, came from nowhere to get 2, and that levels the scores once again. Tony Smith under all kinds of pressure.
I'd pressure him. I would hope for a charging foul, then he's on 4. Dutchie has got to pop it.
Dutchie directing traffic out.
Pop it, Dutch. Pop it. Show them. All right, he is sweet. Listen to that crowd. They love him, and for very good reason. John Dutchie Rademakers.
Look at this. Rademakers directs traffic, takes it all the way. And up and in. Great play.
And a great rebound up this bend by Neil Stevens. Outlets the ball to Smith. Smith is coming down, very closely marked.
Time ticking away here, just under 2 minutes. New Zealand with a 2-point lead. If they could increase it to 6, they'd be in the driver's seat.
Pick for him. No, that's it. Set a pick. No picks being set.
Dutchie looking more confident now as time ticks on as he makes a couple of baskets.
Nice speed, nice speed. Oh, what did he call? He called walking, I think. What a shame. Great move then by Stan. There just must have been an extra step. Nice speed by Smith. It's timeout.
England want to call a timeout. The English coach, very astute, 1 minute 30 seconds.
Now, watch this good pass from Smith into Hill, who I guess had a step there before he bounced the ball.
The England team here down by 2, 1 minute 30 seconds, and the coach wants to talk over the strategy for this last remaining few seconds.
Well, it's a very tight, low-scoring ball game here. Actually, it's a purist game, isn't it, where the coaching has been as vital as the playing here.
It's more like a chess game than a basketball game at this stage.
Now,
very well-coached teams.
When we say that, what we are speaking about is that they have both used a variety of defenses, a variety of offenses, slow play, fast play. It's been a game that's been controlled from the bench.
A further example of what Marshall was just talking about, you saw a few moments ago Joel Moore deciding to get a bit too fancy.
Well, Joel Moore sums up countrywide basketball fine. He was a horse without a head. It was just like that final we saw up there in the hut. It was my turn, your turn. My party trick is better than yours.
And as a result, he's cooling his heels on the bench. 36-34. England's ball. Carl Tatum brings it up, and Dutchie's after him. Don't reach in, Dutchie. Time ticking away. 1.5 minutes left in the first half.
Jack Myri's on the court. All right.
Hey.
There's a bit of speed out there now. We might see a couple of fast breaks.
Pistol Pete.
Oh, he's backing off. You can't do that. Number 8. Oh, he's arguing. I don't believe it. He tried to run his man halfway down the paddock then.
Paul Stimpson, number 8, the captain, picks up an obvious foul, which he contests.
Watch this now. He goes under. And he just runs straight backwards and shoves Jack Myrie into John Van Uden. Oh, what happened? Bad
turnover. Bad pass was off Stan's hands, and England back in with a chance here.
That's a shame. They'll burn him. They'll hurt him. They're all tied up. You can't make mistakes like that. It's great pressure from England now. Here's Jack Myrie. Passes down to... Hey, good play. Where did he come from? England's fired up here.
Scores locked, 36 each. 1 minute left in the first half. New Zealand have got to keep it going. Keep up the momentum. Cross-court pass, Myrie. He puts it up.
Oh, is that clutch? Is that clutch? You sit there like a melting ice cream and suddenly someone puts you on the court and you throw the ball in. I love him.
Watch this again. Myrie comes off the bench to score his first.
Did he cover?
Yes, he did. Dan Lloyd takes it inside. We've got a foul on Myrie.
Is it? Yeah.
And it's going to be 2 shots. Paul Ogilvie comes on for Dutchie.
I don't know why.
40 seconds left in the first half.
That's a silly substitution, but there we go. I mean, you don't... 40 seconds to go. What's Ogilvie going to do? You got a guy playing himself into the game, and you yank him out with 40 seconds to go. Explain that one to me, Bob.
It mystifies me, Marshall. I don't have a ready explanation for that one. England down by 1. Dan Lloyd, 6'6" forward, plays for Crystal Palace, makes his second. The score's deadlocked again. 35 seconds left in the first half. Here comes Myrie with the ball. He's under pressure. 10 seconds to get across midcourt.
It's a trap play. Someone's free. Okay, look up, look up. Oh, look up. Gee, when you catch those two guys out of position like that, somebody's free underneath.
New Zealand playing for one shot.
Yeah.
They want the last shot.
That explains it, Bob. But if you get an advantage, you must take advantage. Now, that's a great pass from Stan Hill. A good roll, then. Hey, he's going to travel. No fuss, no foul. Hard luck. That's hard luck on Paul Ogilvie.
You saw Ogilvie doing his best to get out of the way. But the England player halted his dribble, let him fall over him, and he goes to the line to shoot two. Most unfortunate.
Well, Paul he's been sitting down watching. It's hard. That's what we're saying. The coach has got to understand that it's hard to walk into a game with 40 seconds to go and not be overexcited and do something silly.
England's ace, Captain Paul Stimson, makes his first. England down 1. 10 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah.
Scores time.
Look at this press.
New Zealand.
Look at this
Need
press.
one last shot here.
Look up. Oh, bad pass, but we got away with it.
Myrie takes his time, puts it up. No good. He's knocked to the floor, but there's no call.
Hey.
And at the halftime, it couldn't be any closer, Marshall. Scores 40 each.
Cal Stadium is a very tense place at the moment. This is scored
20 minutes. The scores are deadlocked, 40 each. Marshall, we're starting all over. It's like it's 0-all.
We are.
Once again, John Hill goes high.
Hey, that was back court, but they didn't call it.
Warwick Mayo back in the game, starting guard for New Zealand. Did not have a happy first half.
Hey, there we go. That could be good very good for New Zealand and for Warwick putting his first one in. He can blow him in. What was that name? The
Ice Water Kid.
Ice Water Kid.
We haven't seen Ice around for the last few years. It'd be nice to see the old boy come back.
Yeah, their zone is not shifting as it should. It's a very stiff zone, allowing shots like that.
Jeremic threw it over the basket.
Nice shot. Great shot then from the big man.
Pete Mullings picks up 2. Scores locked, 42-all. Got a traveling call on Mayo. When somebody shoots, the ball normally goes over the basket 7 out of 10 times, and weak side rebounding pays dividends in this game. Jeremic puts it up.
Good rebound. Outlet. Look up. Look up. Here's Warwick. He'll want to drive.
Back out Tony Smith. Van Uden
Good
from the
pass.
side.
Good pass. You think he would have had a shot. He'll take it. That's a great shot if it goes in. Now, you had a perfect view then of outstanding shooting, all right? It was good passing and good balance. That's what you got to do against the zone. Nice play, John Van Uden.
Van Uden now with 8 points. New Zealand with a 2-point lead. 44-42. New Zealand has gone to a zone. Marshall, we were talking about that before. Mullings puts it up, no good. It's his own rebounds, and the captain, Stimson, number 8, knocks it down. 44 each. In the first half, New Zealand had 12 fouls. England 7, the only person in foul trouble. Close to being in foul trouble
That's
for
a
New
good
Zealand.
play against the zone. That was a great play that England hadn't seen before. Okay, that was a weak side cut, which means away from the ball and straight up the middle from Van Uden. That's got the English coach thinking. That's the best play of the night by New Zealand.
46-44, New Zealand by 2. Pressure now on England. Tatum.
We don't have our hands up in the air. You can't play a lazy zone. You either get stuck in or play man-to-man.
Marshall, I'm impressed by Tatum. Very competent guard. Good shooter.
Here's the same play again. He got bounced that time.
Mayo trying to do something. Nothing on. Van Uden high and wide.
Run it again. Here it comes. John Hill will roll down the middle. To Sand Hill, and what do we got? We got a call on Pete Mullins. He's not happy about it. How many fouls on Mullins? We'll see. Well, what do you call? Not a foul on Hill.
That was a most interesting call. Big Stan does not like that call. They called a pushing foul on him. That gives him 2. Everybody expected England to pick up that foul. And England now with a chance to regain the lead. Scores locked, 46-all.
Right as it runs. Nice. Went inside on Warwick. Nice swat away by John Hill. But Warwick Mail is just, I don't know.
Big John Hill, the exterminator, came over the back and swatted that one. Inside, Mullings.
He'll pop it. This man will pop it.
Jeremich, that's 3 shots that he's thrown over the basket. Here comes Tony Smith with the ball. Underneath, Stan.
And he put it in. Look, 3 guys on him.
Back to Van Uden. Goes inside again to Stan.
If he can suck a foul. Passes it out to Warwick, and he burns it. Here's Warwick Mail. That's why he's in this team. He can open it up. That's what he did in Japan.
Marshall, we need to see the ice water kid of old, and it looks like he might have come tonight.
Well, wouldn't it be great to see him open up? Because that would be the difference in this ball game, is a male going crazy.
Good shooting. Dan Lloyd, the Crystal Palace ace. He's got 8. England 48, New Zealand 48. What a game.
It's been tied with every basket since 45. Oh, yes, good pass. It's got to go in. A great floating pass then to Big Stan. And he got good position and made no doubt about that one. Listen to the crowd. It's enough to give, says Blazy, nightmares.
Good pass inside. We got a pushing foul. Tony Smith. 5 flag, Warwick Mail. He picks up his 3rd foul. He's not happy about that. And it sends number 10, Dan Lloyd.
Who is that?
To the line. Warwick Mail.
3 on Warwick, is it?
Ice water blew his cool momentarily.
He does something good and then something bad. He's not very consistent at the moment.
Scores level. Half a century each, but there, 51. England with the lead now. Almost with a steal, Stimson.
That's forcing the ball. They're playing good D, England. Good, consistent D for 25 minutes of this ball game.
Both teams looking for about a 6-point break. If they can get that, they might be home and hosed. Tony Smith.
He had a bit air. Whoa, stolen. New Zealand ball, though. He got Smith on the hand, then he's shaking it.
Tatum smiling benignly at the referee, who smiles back. Tatum thought he was going to get blown up for a foul, but no call comes. New Zealand retained possession. Ball taken high by Smith. Excellent defense being played by both teams at the moment. Nothing on for Stan.
Oh, wait. I tell you, that guy is brilliant. I keep saying it, but he keeps doing it. He really impresses me, John Van Uden.
One of the key players.
George, you have to call it, Rev. Nope. Look,
Tony
Smith. Didn't he want that rebound?
All aggro. 52-51. New Zealand can go ahead by 3 here.
Oh, Warwick beat them all. He beat them all. A lovely head fake. The only man in the country that could have done that shot, Bob.
The ice water kid cometh again. Warwick Mail now at 8 points. He only had 2 in the first half. And from the side.
Yes, that ball was contested by Stan Hill and rebounded by John. Smith on the fast break. That's good pressure on England. Look out.
Warwick Mail once again.
Oh, he did it again. Listen to that crowd.
Warwick Mail doing more to juice this crowd up than anyone else at the moment. Mail, a hot man, 10 points, 56-51, and there's a 5-point lead to New Zealand. The hometown crowd loves it. What a buzz. England in a bit of trouble now. They must score.
They're forcing their shots. They're forcing the shots. They're not getting them. Here we go. Look out. Watch this one. Look out. He can do anything. Oh, great defense. Great block.
Dan Lloyd with a good block. Watch Sewell go.
Charge. What's he going to call? Oh, he called a foul on John. Okay, probably fair enough. I don't know. It's one of those times when you're just not sure, are you, Bob?
Sewell looked him in the eye and decided to hand him on, and John Hill fouled him. He'll be on the line shooting. Then Sewell, we've got a timeout called.
Dan was saying I thought he had position. How many fouls is that on John? 3, is it? 1.
John Hill picked up his first foul there.
Gee, that's great.
New Zealand with a good break here. They've got a 5-point lead. But if they just capitalize on it now.
What a shame. The old adrenaline was really going to Warwick's head there because he was so clearly marked. There was a man in back. There was a potential 2-on-1 if Warwick, and if there's any of you young guys listening, if you're leading the fast break, there's only one place you go, Bob, isn't there? Where's that to?
Straight to the middle, Marshall.
Straight to the middle. He should have gone right into the middle. It would have opened Smith on his left-hand side for an easy layup.
The reason for that is you want to maximize your options. In the middle of the court, you can pass right or left or shoot. Coming down the side, you take away one of those options. There you see a good shot of John Hill, the younger of the two mountains. Time remaining. We've got just over 14 minutes, and the score, 56-51. New Zealand ahead by 5.
The younger of the two mountains, or the smaller of the two hills. We'll cliche you to death, folks.
Yes, indeed. We'll clean it up. On the line. Drew Sewell. Oh, messy shot.
Look at this. Now, this is a different England team from what we saw in the first half there. They are not passing the ball as crisply. They're not shooting the ball as crisply. They're struggling at the moment. The pressure is on England, as it was on New Zealand in that first half, isn't it? There's young,
Sewell's up to it.
There's young Neil Stevens out there in the moment. The 18-year-old flyer. There he is, number 12. Here's the ball to Stevens, but I don't really want him to shoot.
Good fake.
All right. Hey, he's fired up, too. The young Danny Burke flyer, Neil Stevens, 18 years young.
Pressure on England now.
Oh, no, that's a bad foul on Stanley. Of course, I think that guy will be thinking about, no, you did hit him, Stan.
Yes. Yes, we all saw it. We heard it. That's 3 on Stan. That's a bad situation.
That's bad with 14 to go, 13 to 14 to go. We can't. This is why you have to concentrate in the game of basketball. There's so much fast action. Oh, well, that wasn't as bad as we thought, actually. I think he did get his hand, but he certainly was attacking the ball.
Yes, he was indeed. Stimson, the captain, Crystal Palace player, on the line. He's got 13 points. England's leading scorer.
That's what you expect from a captain, to suck fouls on the strongest weapon in the opposition, which in this case is Stan Hill.
58-55. New Zealand by 3. Time remaining. 13 minutes.
You got to pass it against that zone. There's Neil Stevens. He's open. He's going to take another one. He made his last one. Look at him. Oh, that's pressure. That's pressure. Sure, you don't expect that from a 6'8" youngster.
Great shooting. Stimson with a long one.
Whoa, your turn, my turn. That's the captain's knock.
16. Stimson, 57 England.
But now, I don't think they're going to feed Stevens. I think that's why Stanley shot, actually.
Here comes England up very quickly.
Yeah, he'll shoot it. He'll shoot it. He's getting 3. That's what England were doing in that first half. Now, something's going wrong down the right-hand zone for New Zealand. They're not contesting the shot. Warwick wants it. He wants it. Hey, there's a big. Hey, listen to the crowd. There goes Warwick. Oh, pull it. Oh, heck. Anyway.
Away from him. Good block underneath. England saves a certain 2 points. They can take the lead here.
Well, I'd say that I think they'll take him out of the game now, which is a shame because I think he had every chance to make that layup. Contested. Those hands are not going up on that right-hand side. They're not contesting those shots.
2 men free on the right side. Tatum underneath.
Oh, no. Hey, he's got 4 in a row.
And Stimson now with 20 points. England's leading scorer. England by 1, 61-60. Mail from the baseline. Long way out. No good. Here comes the captain, Paul Stimson.
Now, it's just swung back on the back of the English captain into the English court. New Zealand are down at the moment.
This game is like a pendulum. It swings back and forth.
Here he is. Does he do it again? He finally missed one.
Good rebound by Dan Lloyd. He tapped it out.
Get your hand up. Oh, nice bait. Oh, well, we got it. We got it.
Sewell blew it. Long pass ahead. There's Warwick Mail.
Wait till he gets some rebounders. Take it slow. That's it. We can control the boards.
Mail from the long way out. No good. Here's a fast break.
I call a timeout and settle us down.
Mail had the ball taken away by Tatum, and England retained possession. Things getting a bit hectic here. Helter-skelter basketball.
Hey, it's man-to-man New Zealand. Oh, no. Just walked around, Warwick.
Great feed from Tatum. Shot missed.
Heck.
2 men on the
That's
ball.
got to be walking. Each player wasn't aware that the other man was an Englishman. And so he should, because what happened basically was New Zealand stopped concentrating, Bob. They just, a lot of sloppiness came in where it hadn't been in there before. They were up by 5. All they had needed to do was to play good, crisp basketball. And they just went a bit lazy, didn't they?
Yes, they did, Marshall. So the situation here with 10.5 minutes left in the first half in the game, England by 1, 61-60. England played into their hands too, Marshall. They were running a bit, firing, and as that happens, you begin to see turnovers creep into the game. Coach's nightmare.
Yes, and then suddenly Paul Stinson, well, here's this last play. Nice pass. That's a beautiful pass off to the left. But Stan had that shot contested. That's what New Zealand wasn't doing. Now, see those guys? Each guy thought the other guy was a New Zealander. And so they eventually walked with the ball.
Back to live action here. 61-60.
Now.
Couldn't be tighter. 3/4 of the game gone. 1 point separating these teams.
Stan Hill has just sat down on the bench for the first time in the game. There are 3 young players out there, Neil Stevens, John Hill, and Nick Costley, along with the starting guard line of Ogilvie and Smith. Nice shot, Tony Smith. That's great. To come out from the timeout when you're a little bit cold, slowly work your way down the court and say thank you very much for 2 points.
Tony's first 2 points this half. His total is 8. New Zealand now by 1. What a seesaw encounter.
It's man-to-man. Look for the picks. Nice feed in. He went over. Good work by Costley, but he left his own man free. That was good work. Here's the outlet to Ogilvie. Ogilvie to Smith. England are getting back very well. They had 4 men down under the basket. There was no way there was going to be a fast break.
England play good defense, both ends of the court.
Hey, there's Joel Moore out there again. Mr. Action. He's everywhere. Oh, nice shot. Tony Smith. You can see why he was man of the match in Japan on several occasions. Tony Smith. Beautiful. Here, watch this. Great. Right in the middle of the hole with Joel guarding him, too. The shot was contested.
Got a holding foul.
Who is that on?
Neil Stevens picks up his first. 64-61. New Zealand by 3. Let's see if we can get
There's a lot of shoving. There's a lot of shoving under there at the moment. This is good defense. That's it. Contested. You got to get help. Costley twice has come from nowhere and helped out on a man as they got fast. That's another foul on Stevens. That's a shame, but Costley is playing very, very well. He's not only guarding his own man, but when a man gets free, he does the job.
Fouls getting a bit expensive now. There are 3 New Zealand players with 3. England has 1 player on 2 fouls. No one else is in any kind of trouble.
That could be the ball game in the final analysis.
Mind you, there's only 9 minutes left in the game, Marshall. Carl Tatum. Stimson comes back in, replacing Tatum.
Ron Amori, the American official, maintains good control of the game. This is a good basketball player.
Pete Mullins.
He's the man responsible for stopping Zoot. And that's how England actually had beaten Canada, was that they stopped Zoot. And it was a lot of rough, hard work, too.
Yes, it was. Pressure coming now. Joe Moore applying a bit of pressure to Tony Smith. Tony's up to it. No problems. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Man-to-man defense.
Nice cut through. That's it. There's no panic. Take it easy. I don't know what Nick Costley's doing way out there. I'd like to see our big men a little nearer the basket at the moment.
Smith takes it across the
Pick
top.
four. That's it. Good pick. John Hill set a pick.
Hill trying to get a rebound. It comes hard off.
Moore wants to go all the way. He's only got one speed. You saw it. Look at him. Look at him. He's got that Camp Beasy step, knees are flying every way. Oh, he's forced out of bounds. Yes, good call, huh? Hey, and we've got an injury on Pete Mullins. He's pulled a muscle in his foot. That could be a costly injury for England. He's the man who intimidates the New Zealand team when they go inside. He's in pain. He's not a happy man.
During that stop in action, you heard the crowd cheering madly while John Van Uden and Stan Hill have just returned to the game. Mullins is going to stay on the court. He'll survive, he thinks. So New Zealand down by 1. 8 minutes, just over 8 minutes left in the game. Tony Smith. No shot. There's Costley.
Oh, no. Oh, look at Hill work. Rebound. What's he going to call? What's he going to call? Jump ball.
Ron Amore called a jump ball. In the meantime, Stan was able to wrench that ball away from the English players and put it up. But Amore made his call very emphatically. So let's watch it. It's Stan Hill jumping against Dan Lloyd. Hill should control this. He does.
Moore would be an easy pick for somebody. That's the guy I want to see shooting the ball. I just picked Moore. Let Smith do it and get my big man under the bucket. Wouldn't you, Bob?
I'd vote for that, Marshall. Tony Smith now with 12 points.
Smith and Ogilvy just playing one-on-one. I mean, you know, just sort of each guy scream for the other. Yeah, I don't think England are going to make this. They're under too much pressure. Oh, now that was luck. He ought to grin, man. Your fairy godmother was working overtime.
4 shot. David Lloyd was lucky there. It counts. England ahead by 1, 67-66. Time ticking.
There goes Stan. He wanted to drive.
Van Uden.
Oh, look at Mullins get up, eh?
Mullins somewhere up in the clouds to get that one.
But he's got a sore foot. Here's Moore. Let's see if he turns the ball over or puts it in.
Underneath.
Oh, that's 4 on Stan. I'm sorry, that's 4 on Stan. Yeah.
Stan claiming he had the ball.
But you might have just seen the outcome of this game.
That's 4 on Big Stan. Joel Moore out front with the ball. He's playing with a little more calm in the second half.
There's a foul on Ogilvy. That's too many fouls on New Zealand at the moment. We're not concentrating. He didn't need to go off his feet then, Ogilvy. This is why we need these sort of games. I would say, actually, we have more talent in our team than England does, Bob. I just say that it's a... Now, here's the foul on Hill. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Did you, Bob?
Well, I think what he was calling was before the pass went in, he hit the man's arm. No harm, no foul. The pass went in cleanly. However, that's 4 on Stan.
That's what the Aussies and the Canadians were doing to each other all night last night. Oh, he looked to drag his back foot, but anyway, it was a good play by Moore. He turns the ball over or scores. New Zealand are in trouble here. They're in foul trouble, and they're down by 3.
Quicksilver, Joel Moore, 69-66. Come on, Kiwis.
Pick for Ogilvy. Pick for him. Oh, we're floating our passes. We're not screening for our shooters. It's not good at the moment.
Joel Moore being a bit fancy out front again. England with a good opportunity here. He walks every time.
But it makes things happen.
There, he took steps again. Come on, refs, watch it. England with a chance here to go.
Nice, good steal from Costley. He's giving it all out there, isn't he?
Bit of defensive grit is what we need now, Marshall.
Nelson Flyer. That's the home of defense in this country.
England, another 30 seconds to take a shot. If there was, they'll use most of it. Joel Moore spins, goes baseline. Feeds inside. Great feed. Ron Morey giving it to England.
Gave the ball to England.
Joel Moore is lightning quick.
We need some more speed in there at the moment ourselves when you're down by 3. Someone like Jones or like Moore to turn the game around a bit.
Mullings saves it by throwing it high.
He's walking. I'm sorry, he is walking. You can hear the crowd calling it, too.
There's Dan Lloyd. Easy two.
Hey, that's bad. It's 5 points. New Zealand has got to start clicking.
5 points, 71-66. Come on, Kiwis.
There's lots of time to go, but at the moment, New Zealand just isn't firing.
Good defensive pressure coming from England. There's Costley.
Oh, from way out. Whoa, 20-year-old Nick Costley from Nelson.
If ever we needed two, that was the time.
That was a high-pressure shot. Now, let's see if they can stop England down this end. They haven't done it in a while.
Mullings free underneath.
Yeah.
Threw it over the bucket.
He had to throw it so high to get over Stan Hill. What's he called? A foul on Moore, is it?
Not quite sure.
Well, he's having a discussion instead of calling something. I don't know what it is. Ron Morey's made some phantom call out there. Only he knows what he's called at the moment. He's keeping it a secret.
This is a mystery envelope, Marshall. We'll be opening it in a minute.
Well, I don't see anything being held up, so it isn't a foul. Now, what's happened here? We've got Warwick Mail and Jack Myrie on. John Van Uden's on the court, and the Hill brothers. Well, Jack and Warwick could certainly speed up the pace of this game, couldn't they?
Yes, to match Joel Moore's lightning quick moves.
But remember that Myrie hasn't had much court time this last week, so there's a lot of pressure on him. Oh, bad pass. Now, that's been the major fault of this New Zealand team in this game, and that is bad pass. Oh, what a shot. Did you see that? Great little fake down the side, went middle, sweet.
David Lloyd sends England into a 5-point lead. 73-68. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the game. New Zealand have got to stay with them.
Here's John Hill. He's inside. Feeds brother Stan. All right, but that could be 5 fouls. No, they called it on Moore. Moore doesn't like it. Moore is an unhappy man. He said that big man just ran me down. It was either him or some truck.
Moore wants a royal commission investigating that call.
Now remember, if he called this against Stan, that would have been 5 on Stan. Let's watch this. Comes in, feeds Stan. Yes, and look at that. Moore was backing right into him. No doubt about it.
Unfortunate for Moore, he was actually pushed.
That was a very fine example of an obvious foul on the replay that we hadn't seen in the middle of the action. Well done.
Down to the Kiwi bench. They've come back to within 3 of England. We've got 4 minutes left in the first half.
I like the look of the side that's out there at the moment. I think it's a side that could bust this game open. When you're down by 3, you can't play conservative basketball. Now, by that, I mean you don't throw the ball away. But you have to go a little bit faster, and you've got to do a little bit more. And I like the side that is out there at the moment.
I do too, Marshall. The game's into its last 4 minutes of frantic basketball. And New Zealand are going to be under tremendous pressure. England has played tenacious man-to-man defense most of the game. They throw the zone in occasionally just to mix it up. And they've really created problems for New Zealand. To their credit, however, they've stayed with them. Now, England really are in a good position here. They're 3 points up. All the coach wants to do is settle them down, keep running their pattern, and keep playing that tough, tight defense.
And Yeah, and Bob, if they do get close, remember that Smith is on the bench. He only has the 3 fouls, and that's the guy who you want after he's had a bit of a rest on the bench to come on in and ice the game. But it's up to these guys. They've got to get the score even again. If they do, then I think Smith could ice it.
Stan Hill. That's 14 points. Number 15 for Big Stan in New Zealand.
Listen to the crowd. Excuse me, Bob. Listen to the crowd, eh?
Good Christchurch crowd. Joel Moore between the legs out front. He loves bouncing that ball and shifting those feet. Carl Tatum back in as well.
There's it's an unusual D out there at the moment. They're changing men a lot. I can't work it out. Oh, great. Great. And John Hill. Whoa, it went off England. Listen to the crowd. Okay. If they score now, they tie it up. In comes Smith for Myrie. Well, we expected that.
Here comes the full court pressure. New Zealand under tremendous pressure now. England going full court against them.
Moral foul.
Tony Smith, no problems. Tony Smith back in the game. Should be rested, ready to...
Here it is. There's Hill. Had to be. A great ball from Stan Hill. Excellent pass from John Van Newton. He's all tied up, folks.
What a game we have. Once again, scores leveled. And the crowd booing something. I'm not quite sure why. Mullings with the ball inside. Nothing to do with it.
Okay, it's all excitement here. Commonwealth Basketball Championship.
Moore's firing up, getting a bit fancy. Here he comes down the lane. Oh,
there it is, stolen by Warwick Bale. Warwick Bale stole the ball. Tony Smith has got it. The score is tied. There is 2 minutes remaining in the game. Well, actually, it's near a 3. That's a long time.
And Joel Moore just bought himself a ticket to the bench. You watch. He'll be out in a matter of seconds now. Bale with the ball. New Zealand a chance to go into the lead. Tony Smith.
Here's the guy. There he is. Tony Smith. I thought he's the guy who could ice it. Now remember that New Zealand can control the backboard. They just have to contest the shots so that England don't get easy shots. They must make sure that England only get one.
Listen to this crowd. There's about 1,200 one-eyed spectators up here.
Nice pass. Great play then by Moore. It was a sweet pass. Someone was slack on the feet. I think I know who it was.
Stan Hill had to bring the ball up. Tony Smith with it. Scores level. We're into the final 2 minutes of play.
Pick for Smith. He's got to do too much work with the guy. There it is. There's the pick. All right. That's what you got to do, brother. That's basketball. Okay, Moore's going to walk. Float. Yeah, where's that going?
Tatum went big.
All right. England look nervous. New Zealand are up by 2. The crowd is cheering. Listen to the black.
77-75. 1 minute, 20 seconds left in the game. Tatum in the lane. We got a foul. It's Warwick Bale pushing with the body. Listen to this Canterbury crowd. Warwick Bale.
This could be the most important win ever if New Zealand had done it. Okay, in the way that the Commonwealth Championship was spoiled a little when Nigeria and India had pulled out. There was a gutless bit of journalism in this country that ignored that fact because it was obviously the Springboks tour. But here it is. This is great basketball at its very, very best here, and possibly New Zealand's best win ever. But they're going to have to work really hard.
Here comes Tony Smith. 1 minute, 10 seconds left in the game. Scores level. What a finish. John Van Newton goes baseline, feeds Stan Hill. 1 minute. Oh, boy.
He's through. He's through. Unfouled and out of this tournament. Tony Smith has just sprained his ankle. He's through. That is a sad sight.
Tony Smith in agony. Turned an ankle, stepped on a foot as he was going down the lane.
Now, people are very angry here. I hope this wasn't intentional. I don't think it was. I couldn't even see what happened there.
He stepped on Carl Tatum's foot, rolled his ankle, and for the first 5 minutes,
there are a few more painful things.
I don't believe the drama that that young man laying there was the guy that could have given us our greatest win ever. Yes, he did. He stood on his foot. That was a complete accident. Smith, I don't believe the drama of this. I'm sorry, but you know, you, the Sharon Crosbys of the world, that think there's no theater in sport.
"57 seconds left in the game. Tony Smith has to leave with 16 points, 3 fouls, and he gets an outstanding ovation. New Zealand seemed to be worried about Tony Smith. England, on the other hand, are under the basket talking over strategy for the last 55 seconds. Marshall?
Who's going to shoot this foul shot? Was there a foul called?
Yes, there was a foul called.
Well, then they have to nominate a shooter if he's not able to continue. This seldom happens in the sport of basketball. They've got ice on his ankle now, but I mean, Bob and I have just seen this happen. So when you see a player go down like that, what you were speaking about is a week and a half, and then you're playing again.
Yes, he certainly won't retake the court. They're working on it, though. Perhaps they're going to send him back out to shoot the free throws.
No way. No way. They've got Paul Ogilvie on, and I hope Ogilvie shoots the foul shots.
Enter Paul Ogilvie right. And Ogilvie under tremendous pressure as he steps to the line.
Incredible pressure. He's 28 years old. He's getting his first chance on a New Zealand team. Been an outstanding player up in Auckland, but that's a late age to come into this kind of pressure, Bob.
So Paul Ogilvie with 57 seconds left.
Come on, Paul, do your job. Okay, he's still got 2. I think he'll do it.
First was a warm-up toss. These are the ones that count. Need we say anything? New Zealand by 1. Got to have both of them.
55 seconds to go. New Zealand is up by only 1. In and out. That could be costly, but remember, it's England who've got to put it in. And they can't afford to wait for 30 seconds.
Time ticking away. 45 seconds left in the game. England playing very calm, controlled basketball. They want a good shot.
Remember that New Zealand have to contest the shot and only give him 1. Nice. Oh, he didn't take it. He was wide open. That's off. That's off. It's around. He got the rebound. That's it. Now hang on to it. Hang on to it. Hang on to it.
25 seconds. Ball was out of bounds.
Well, I can't describe to you how costly and silly that was then. Everyone should have cleared out, and he should have bounced the ball backwards and waited till everybody went up court, Bob.
Marshall, here's another example of it. The whistle blows, a timeout is taken, and half the New Zealand team arguing with the referee while England is talking with their coach, deciding what to do in the last 20 seconds.
I'm very impressed with that young man. He is going to be coaching England for a long, long time to come. Bill Bessick, outstanding. Discipline is the name of the game at this level, isn't it, Bob?
Indeed. Now, what we'll see, England is setting things up for one last shot. They want to win the game. All they've got to do is make one more shot. Who's the player who's going to take it? My guess is number 8, Captain Paul Stimpson. He's got 20 points. He's their leading scorer, and he's been the hot hand in the second half.
I would say that you'd be absolutely right, except for number 11. If 8 isn't free, I'd look for 11 who would shoot from the corner at about sort of 8 feet out. In other words, if they sag in and attempt a double team on 8, I would look for 11.
I hope you're right, Marshall. I'll be overjoyed if Jeremy shoots. He's got 2 points in the game. He's missed about 7 in a row. He's a bricklayer. Give him the ball, England. 20 seconds left in the game. Here we go. Full court pressure.
Oh, is it back court? Back court! Back court! Oh, New Zealand is screaming. Anyway, on with the game. Here we go. England have to make this the most important game New Zealand's ever played. And there it goes. I told you it was number 11. I hate to say it now. Can Warwick Bale do it? He's missed. Oh, Van Uden missed the layup.
What an incredible finish to this game. England goes absolutely absolutely berserk. They have finished up winners on quite an incredibly close encounter, 79-78.
Absolute hysteria, and the crowd is just stunned. The amount of adrenaline here, this very proud New Zealand team, you could cut it with a knife. There is admiration for the English and a lot of sympathy for a wonderful New Zealand team. If New Zealand walked out into the middle of the court right now, the applause would be deafening.
Marshall, you picked it once again. That's the man, Jeremic. Pistol Pete Jeremic threw the winning bucket from 25 feet. He missed 7 in a row in the second half.
But he's a good natural shooter, and no one was going to guard him from there, were they?
That was the man we wanted throwing the DOS. England go into the finals. They get a rematch with Canada, and remember, Big Zoot said yesterday there was only one team he wanted to play in the finals. That was England.
And you viewers out there, don't despair, because on Saturday afternoon on Sport on One, guess what you're going to see? New Zealand versus Australia, and I'm picking it to be a great one.
And following that, Saturday night will be the finalists, the Commonwealth Basketball Championships, Canada going head-to-head with England.
Well, there they are, a very proud English team. This is the best basketball that England has ever played. Speaking with their coach, all of this is going back to England. It amazed the English that they beat Canada. Now they've beaten a very strong New Zealand side, and they play Canada again in the final. Outstanding play. One sad element in this game, and it wasn't the loss. It was a great game of basketball, but it was the injury to the outstanding, there he is, the injury to the outstanding guard, Tony Smith. Well, I think his face says it all, Lexi.
And John Van Uden next to him. Once again, the final score, 79 to England, 78 New Zealand. What a tremendous basketball game we have just witnessed.
Well, at the start of the game, back before the game started, the English ringmaster Bill Beswick was very confident. How were your fingernails at the end of the match?
I think I did say it would go right down to the wire. I didn't realize it would actually be the last shot of the game, and we would be taking it, but super game.
Some outstanding skills there that I think enthralled the crowd, despite the fact that they were on New Zealand's side, particularly Joel Moore.
Joel did very well. He's an 18-year-old, and it's marvellous to give him this kind of experience in this kind of situation. I thought he handled it quite well, but I thought overall it was the same as against Canada. It was the contribution of all the players to the sum total that made the winning edge.
And it's, again, the same as against Canada. Pete Jeremic, in the last couple of minutes, from way out on the sideline, again, he shot the winning goals.
Well, I put Pete on specially for that play. He came on with 36 seconds left. I called the timeout and I called the play. And Pete's one of these guys, he wants to make that final shot. There are a unique quality of basketball players. Some look for responsibility, some shirk it. Pete thrives on it, and he did it.
Well, a game that seesawed all the way through there. In fact, all of these top 4 teams have been remarkably close. Were you confident at any stage that you could win it?
I think you give it your best shot. It's a bit like Rocky 1, 2, and 3. You go out there, you prepare, and you give it your best shot. And that's what we said today. We had a team meeting. We said we're going to give it our best shot. Kiwis are a good team. I thought they played very well. You know, I thought we picked their pocket. But we gave it our best shot, and this time it came out for us.
You got the psychological advantage of having beaten your opponents in the final once already. How much is that going to help you?
Oh, they'll be coming back for us, those Canadians. Yeah, they want us badly. I think it's going to be a good final. I think I hope it'll going to be a fitting end to a great tournament.
Congratulations, Bill, and good luck in the final.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Let's have a look now at those last few enthralling moments as the score was seesawing, and it was so close right till the end.
Stan Hill with 14 points. Number 15 for Big Stan in New Zealand.
Listen to the crowd.
2.
Excuse me, Bob. Listen to the crowd, eh?
Good Christchurch crowd. Joel Moore between the legs out front. He loved bouncing that ball, shifting those feet. Carl Tatum back in as well.
There's a lot of, it's an unusual D out there at the moment. They're changing men a lot. I can't work it out. Oh, great. Great. And John Hill. Whoa, it went off England. Listen to the crowd. Okay. If they score now, they tie it up. In comes Smith for Myrie. Well, we expected that.
Here comes the full court pressure. New Zealand under tremendous pressure now. England going full court against them.
Moral foul.
Tony Smith, no problems. Tony Smith back in the game. Should be rested, ready to...
Here it is. There's Hill. Had to be. A great blow from Stan Hill. Excellent pass from John Van Newton. She's all tied up, folks.
What a game we have. Once again, scores level. And the crowd booing something. I'm not quite sure why. Mullings with the ball inside. Nothing to do with it.
Okay, it's all excitement here. Commonwealth Basketball Championship.
Moore's firing up, getting a bit fancy. Here he comes down the lane. Oh,
there it is, stolen by Warwick Vale. Warwick Vale stole the ball. Tony Smith has got it. The score is tied. There is 2 minutes remaining in the game. Well, actually, it's near a 3. That's a long time.
And Joel Moore just bought himself a ticket to the bench. You watch, he'll be out in a matter of seconds now. Vale with the ball. New Zealand a chance to go into the lead. Tony Smith.
Here's the guy. There he is. Tony Smith. I thought he's the guy who could ice it. Now remember that New Zealand can control the backboard. They just have to contest the shots so that England don't get easy shots. They must make sure that England only get one.
Listen to this crowd. There's about 1,200 one-eyed spectators up
there. Nice pass. Great play then by Moore. It was a sweet pass. Someone was slack on the D. I think I know who it was.
Stan Hill had to bring the ball up. Tony Smith with it. Scores level. We're into the final 2 minutes of play.
Pick for Smith. He's got to do too much work for the guy. There it is. There's the pick. All right. That's what you got to do, Mother. That's basketball. Okay, Moore's going to walk. Float. Yeah, where's that going?
Tatum went baseline.
All right. England looked nervous. New Zealand are up by 2. The crowd is cheering. Listen to the black.
77-75. 1 minute, 20 seconds left in the game. Tatum in the lane. We got a foul. It's Warwick Vale pushing with the body. Listen to this Canterbury crowd. Warwick Vale collects his 4th foul. Actually, this isn't too bad, Marshall. Tatum has got to shoot 2 honest free throws to stay within reach of New Zealand.
That's pressure. That's pressure. I'd say he can do it, but it certainly is New Zealand keeping the pressure on England. And when you've got the crowd behind you, it's great to be up by 1 or 2. Okay, well, here we go. This is really exciting stuff here. This could be the most important win ever if New Zealand had done it. Okay, in the way the Commonwealth Championship was spoiled a little when Nigeria and India had pulled out. There was a gutless bit of journalism in this country that ignored that fact because it was obviously the Springboks tour. But here it is. This is great basketball at its very, very best here, and possibly New Zealand's best win ever. But they're going to have to work really hard.
Here comes Tony Smith. 1 minute, 10 seconds left in the game. Scores level. What a finish. John Van Newton goes baseline, beats Stan Hill. 1 minute. Oh, boy.
He's through. He's through. Unfouled and out of this tournament. Tony Smith has just sprained his ankle. He's through. That is a sad sight.
Tony Smith in agony. Turned an ankle, stepped on a foot as he was going down the lane.
Now, people are very angry here. I hope this wasn't intentional. I don't think it was. I couldn't even see what happened there.
He stepped on Carl Tatum's foot, rolled his ankle, and for the first 5 minutes, there are a few more painful things.
I don't believe the drama of it. That young man laying there was the guy that could have given us our greatest win ever. Yes, he did. He stood on his foot. That was a complete accident. Smith, I don't believe the drama of this. I'm sorry, but you know, the Sharon Crosbys of the world that think there's no theater in sport.
.57 seconds left in the game. Tony Smith has to leave with 16 points, 3 fouls, and he gets an outstanding ovation. Enter Paul Ogilvie-Wright. And Ogilvie under tremendous pressure as he steps to the line.
Incredible pressure. He's 28 years old. He's getting his first chance on a New Zealand team. He's been an outstanding player up in Auckland, but that's a late age to come into this kind of pressure, Bob.
So Paul Ogilvie with 57 seconds left.
Come on, Paul, do your job. Okay, he's still got 2. I think he'll do it.
First was a warm-up toss. These are the ones that count. Need we say anything? New Zealand by 1. Got to have both of them.
55 seconds to go. New Zealand is up by only 1. In and out. That could be costly, but remember, it's England who've got to put it in. And they can't afford to wait for 30 seconds.
Time ticking away. 45 seconds left in the game. England playing very calm, controlled basketball. They want a good shot.
Remember that New Zealand have to contest the shot and only give them 1. Nice fake. Oh, he didn't take it. He was wide open. That's off. That's off. It's around. He got the rebound. That's it. Now hang on to it. Hang on to it. Hang on to it.
25 seconds. Ball was out of bounds.
Well, I can't describe to you how costly and silly that was then. Everyone should have cleared out, and he should have bounced the ball backwards and waited till everybody went up court, Bob.
Marshall, here's another example of it. The whistle blows, a timeout is taken, and half the New Zealand team arguing with the referee while England is talking with their coach, deciding what to do in the last 20 seconds.
I'm very impressed with that young man. He is going to be coaching England for a long, long time to come. Bill Bessick, outstanding. Discipline is the name of the game at this level, isn't it, Bob?
Indeed. Now what we'll see, England is setting things up for one last shot. They want to win the game. All they've got to do is make one more shot. Who's the player who's going to take it? My guess is number 8, Captain Paul Stimpson. He's got 20 points. He's their leading scorer, and he's been the hot hand in the second half.
I would say that you'd be absolutely right, except for number 11. If 8 isn't free, I'd look for 11, who would shoot from the corner at about sort of 8 feet out. In other words, if they sag in and attempt a double team on 8, I would look for 11.
I hope you're right, Marshall. I'll be overjoyed if Jeremis shoots. He's got 2 points in the game. He's missed about 7 in a row. He's a bricklayer. Give him the ball, England. 20 seconds left in the game. Here we go. Full court pressure.
Oh, is it back court? Back court! Back court! Oh, New Zealand is screaming. Anyway, on with the game. Here we go. England have to make this the most important game New Zealand's ever played. And there it goes. I told you it was number 11. I hate to say it now. Can Warwick Bale do it? He's missed. Oh, Van Uden missed the layup.
What an incredible finish to this game. England goes absolutely berserk. They have finished up winners of quite an incredibly close encounter, 79-78.
We had our chances, 20 seconds to go. We had possession of the ball and 1 point up. And without a lot of pressure, we bounced the ball on our foot and it went out of bounds. That really hurts.
The side shot 64% in the second half. That's quite good basketball. What went wrong?
Well, I think both teams were playing very well tonight. I don't know what they shot, but I think it was a fairly high percentage as well. We did what we wanted on offense. They allowed us to move the ball around, get it inside. Our perimeter players were shooting the ball well. I was reasonably happy with the way we went. We just needed a little bit more control at the end there.
Realistically, though, how much of your own game were you allowed to play? How much were you forced to play their game?
We played our game just about entirely tonight. We had the big guys, we controlled the boards, and that allows you to do pretty much what you want to do if you take your time.
Once again, Tony Smith, outstanding.
Tremendous game from Tony. Most people are probably unaware that Tony is actually playing under the flu at the moment. He's not feeling very well at all, and I didn't know whether I was going to even be able to play him.
A lot of people now will be saying that, so what's left? It's only a playoff for 3rd and 4th. How importantly are you taking this game against Australia in the playoff for 3rd and 4th?
It's very important for us. We need to play Australia more times. I'd like to play them in the off seasons. apart from just for the Olympic qualifying and the world qualifying, just so our players get used to playing against that intense defense. So we're looking forward to the game.
They've beaten you twice. What chance do you stand of winning against them a third time?
Well, it's always difficult to beat the 5th best team in the world. However, if Australia turns up like they did last night, with the wrong sort of attitude, not really too keen to get into the game, anything could happen.
But psychologically, how difficult is it going to be for New Zealand players to beat a side that has beaten them twice in the last couple of weeks?
Well, I think in our first game, we didn't think we stood a chance. I think that was the problem. In the second game, we showed that we can compete with them. I'm hoping in the third game that we will come ready to beat them.
Thank you very much, Peter Schmidt. Let's have a look now at the last few moments of another very close, exciting game, the one which put Canada in the final.
So, with 3 minutes, 45 seconds left in the game, Australia looking to go into the lead for the first time in a long time. Scrapney passes up a shot.
Smythe is going to shoot this.
Australia's bemused by this zone, and Smythe throws one up, and there's Zoot. We got a jump ball.
Now that just shows how quiet a role Jim Zoot is playing. See, it's against his nature to have something like that happen, isn't it? He's got to play such a professional, subdued role that to allow that young Aussie to get a jump ball on him.
Zoot controls the tap.
Smythe missed the magic. I told you he'd score the next two, but he missed it. But that's goaltending from Zoot. Now, we've got an international incident here. Zoot is very upset. I think he probably did. I don't think he had a right to take it off the rim. Let's see it in the
There'll be
replay.
diplomatic correspondence over this one, Marshall.
Yeah, now watch this now. Just explain the rule here, Bob.
As Smythe shoots, the ball comes off the ring. Now, it's still in the imaginary cylinder above it.
Oh, yeah, he flipped it out. No doubt about it. That's
There was a chance that the ball would come
Wait a
down and
minute.
go through the hoop, and Zoot jumped up and knocked it out.
They haven't given him the bucket.
They're calling a jump ball. This is absolutely incredible. Diplomatic ties work very quickly.
Yes, well, I guess the referees haven't got slow motion replay. But,
Unbelievable. What a game.
he
What a
actually
finish.
reached inside and flicked the ball out into, I think it would have fallen into the net. Great stuff. We'll remember that for a long time.
So Australia still behind the 8 ball. They're down by 1 and 4.
And here comes Smythe, and he sucked a foul. Smythe, oh, what a pass. Outstanding pass. Oh, Smythe is good. Isn't he slick?
Yes, indeed. Now we're seeing the Canadians play a bit of lumberjack basketball, Mark.
You've been waiting the whole game to say that. You said it before the game. You were so confident you gave me 15 points. What a pass then by Smythe.
Mike Frisbee made the last payment on that trip to the bench, and he's out of the game. Number 9 coming out for them as well, Dave Arsenault. Jonesy back in the game. Paul Jones, 6'1" guard.
Now
And Breedy ties it up.
Okay, this is a young, well, he isn't all that young, but he's off the bench, okay? It's vital that he makes these. He only made one. It's tied up. It is 76 all with just under 2 minutes. No, with just under 3 minutes left in the game. And that's a long time in basketball. Zoot! Oh, what a great foul. Now, that's what you call a professional foul in basketball. That was a very fine foul. Zoot was just, watch this. Now, Zoot was winding up to jam it, what we call a stuff of the ball. Look at this. Up he goes to jam it and was fouled. Good play by that young player. Why we say that is that now he's got to make his foul shots, and at 7 feet, that's not that easy, is it?
No, this puts Zoot on the line. He's got to do it the honest way. He makes the first one.
My man, Zoot.
My hooky can shoot. 77-76, and Zoot sends him into a 2-point lead. Here comes Australia. Crowd warming up to the finish here. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left in the game. A lot of time. It's a long home straight.
They're up by 2.
Number 10, Breedy in the game. Smythe from a long
Oh,
way
he
out.
choked.
Good.
That was short. Bill Smythe is under tension. Well,
This zone must be giving. The zone must be giving Lindsey Gay's headaches.
Now, how do you deliver the ball to Mr. Zoot?
Hand to hand.
He want to shoot. He's hurting that team. You are dead right, Bob. He is a distinct liability to that team. He was well guarded then, and he threw a brick. And there's 2 points to Burnham. No, he was
center.
There's Jones. Jones, I didn't know he was in there. Mr. Jones. All right. Jones will get the ball into Zoot one way or another. In fact, Zoot is just walking up and down the court.
Touchdown.
Oh, Slide. Is he magic? Yes. But that was a good foul by Colcott, a very good foul, because Slide was in for an easy layup then, so he fouled him early. Watch this. Look at Slide. Did you see him get off? That must have been a foot and a half off the ground. Watch this intelligent foul from Colcott.
Spine was so high, he was worried about re-entry. And he's on the line. He's a tired man. He's a bit winded. He'll last, though. Time just under 2 minutes, 78, 76, and these are critical free throws. Clutch shooting.
He'll make a vote.
Is a must.
One of the world's best guards, and I don't think there's anyone around that I'd rather watch play than this man.
Scores all tied, 78 each. What a finish we've got. Wayne Carroll, number 9, back in the game, and he's marking Jones.
Jones deliver the bacon.
Zoot has the ball knocked away by
bad
Porter.
play.
Great play,
Bad
Porter.
play. Bad play by Dave Colcott. Hey, was that my man?
That's Jonesy.
Was that my man, Jones? I look down at the scoreboard, and up it comes, and I see Mr. Jones with a big grin through his mouth guard.
Watch Jones.
Uh-oh.
There's the steal. He puts it.
Oh, yes. Wait a minute. What's the call? This could be the